like tree or plant, anything if it is really stopped, automatically it grows, it gives a new sprout, or it gives a new life automatically. That's exactly natural resilience. Animals, most of the time when they get hurt, especially from the point of physical hurt, they themselves slowly get cured, that because they have a lot of natural resilience. They don't have any other way of putting themselves, except some animals like monkeys. So they try to scratch the wound, sometimes they get and slowly, but rather most of the time the animals, they have their own natural resilience. And we too, my dear friends, have natural resilience. But as we grow, or as we become adults, slowly the natural resilience is becoming less and lesser. We find very difficult to get into that. And resilience is nothing but we come back, after failure. Yeah, we come back after failure. Okay, we come back after failure. Yeah.
General
Yeah. Then learning to resilience also is, we call it another way of natural resilience, also has
நான் இப்ப ஜென்ரலா எடுத்து
another
வாசிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன். அது என்ன எங்க எப்படின்னு
uh,
அடுத்ததுல
somebody is, I think their mic is on or something. Okay, please take care. And we call it as adopted
Hello.
resilience. Yes. Yes, adopted resilience. Adopted resilience is nothing but a person who is able to adapt to a situation, and then he becomes able to really come back. For example, the former president of Abdul Kalam, his family is totally different, and he was able to adapt to himself. He was able to build up his resilience according to the need, and thus he became the president. That's what we could call it as adopted resilience, where a person comes not only thinking about his own family from the background and everything, but rather moving towards a greater goal, and there he himself becomes adapted, and the resilience also becomes a greater part of his own role. And the third one, we call it as, actually, we call it as learned resilience. Learned resilience. Yes, we call it as a learned resilience. Learned resilience is the capacity from the learning and from the adoption, from everything that we try to really learn something, and slowly we come out of ourselves, and we are able to learn many things. And here expressive arts therapy move into this learned resilience. You have something natural, but through expressive arts therapy we are trying to get into that area and learn ourselves, and slowly we move into a better way of life as such. That's exactly we mean. And what is the speciality of a human being? Why we find difficult to come back? Or why sometimes we move into this particular resilience, we are not able to get into that? The first reason is only human being is filled with the different types of brain and mind. Brain and mind. Secondly, we have sense of time, that is past and present and future. We have everything. And we have a special memory where we have a lot of feelings and emotions which are filled with unfinished business, uncontrolled emotions, unfinished needs. Everything's are stored in the unconscious, subconscious mind, and we call it in the mind as a sense of time. Then memory with the feelings. Yeah, my dear friends, when I speak from the point of memory with the feelings, the memory with the feeling is nothing but a person who has maybe a strong emotion of anger or grief, then we call it as a memory with feelings. And the memory with feelings, only human being is able to have it. That's why sometimes we take revenge, or sometimes we get angry, or we get into negative emotions as well. So only human being needs to learn to be resilient. all other, especially from the point of nature, animals, they need not learn to be resilient. They only adapt to the situations. If at all they go to a different situations, but that's all. But only human being needs to learn and needs to really work on his own area of resilience to work on. That's exactly. What is exactly components of resilience? The next point I like to talk is nothing but components of resilience. Components of resilience is a beautiful way of thinking. That the first component of resilience is eudaimonic well-being. Eudaimonic well-being. And the second component of resilience is harnessing emotions. Eudaimonic well-being is nothing but the term comes from the positive psychology, the field of positive psychology. And we have eudaimonism and hedonism. Hedonism is nothing but pleasure seeking. A person looks for some pleasure. So when I eat something, I have a pleasure in the tongue. I have a bit of satisfaction that I have eaten alwa. That's exactly eudaimonic well-being. Hedonistic well-being. Eudaimonic well-being is nothing but a person, for example, he gets a small piece of cake and the person is able to share with. The person has a small piece of fruit or something, maybe he cuts into pieces and shares with the family members or with his friends, and there he is able to share himself. And that's exactly we call it as a eudaimonic well-being. We could really bring back our own resilience only through only from the point of eudaimonic well-being as such. Eudaimonic well-being, we could really bring into that. Okay, yes. Yes, madam.
So now we can see the PPT. So you need to unmute, sir. You need to unmute, sir.
Okay, yes, now.
Yes, yes, sir. Clear, yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm talking about these components of resilience. That the first one is eudaimonic, the second one is harnessing emotions. Harnessing emotion is nothing but basically you are able to come closer to your own positive emotions and grow in it. That's exactly we call it as harnessing emotions and bring in it, and we are able to clear. And we also call it in emotional cleansing. We call another thing that emotional cleansing aside. That's exactly what we call it as. And contributing factors for healthy building of resilience. First one is a healthy self-image. If a person is able to create a healthy self-image, then a person is able to create a better confidence or better resilience in oneself. The second one is positive attitude, positive attitude. The third one is healthy relationship. The fourth one is high EQ, high EQ, high EQ as such. Okay, high EQ. And the fifth one is good communication, healthy confidence, and effective problem solving. And all those areas will really help us to put into ourselves in a better way of building our healthy confidence. And effective problem solving techniques. A person, if he is able to build up effective technique, then and a person is also able to build up a better resilience in oneself. So now, what is exactly? So my dear friends, I'm asking, could you please share the second video, how a person really build up the through art therapy, a person can really build up this resilience as such. Second video, please. Therapeutic activity to build resilience.
Okay, sir.
Resilience. Yeah.
Sir, when you stop and answer, we can able to play the video.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you stop screen sharing, sir?
Yes.
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 Yes, sir.
And creative way to help boost your resilience, then continue watching the video. I'm going to share with you a therapeutic art exercise that will help you reflect on your relationship to resilience and give you hope for the future. So resilience by definition is our ability to recover from any sort of difficult situation. So in life, we all go through some sort of adversity. Maybe we go through a rejection. Maybe we go through heartbreak, or someone that we love passes. Whatever it is, we always are faced with two choices afterwards. We can let the stress of the situation take over and go into victim mode, or we can pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and keep walking towards the path that we want to walk on. Resilience is not about dimming down the heaviness of the situation or anything like that. It's about your ability, your inner strength to handle the stress that's happening in your life and still continue walking forward. It's such an important trait to have in life, and it's so important to keep building your resilience. I can say that in the past year with COVID, there's been many doors that have been shut on me, many things that I have lost. But I've had the strength to continue walking, and I've realized that when one door closes, another one will open. I know it's a very cheesy thing to say, but it's so true. If you think about your life and all the opportunities that have been missed, think about what came after that. You're actually just making room for something else, and how beautiful is that? So keeping this hope within us can help to build our resilience. One of the most powerful images, I think, in nature that showcases resilience is a plant growing through concrete. I remember when I was on the big island of Hawaii, I was walking down the street and there was one part of the island that was absolutely covered in lava. But yet there was this little plant, this little green leaf that was able to shoot through the cracks of the lava and still make it. How powerful is that that plant wanted to live so badly, had so much resilience and strength and courage to keep growing through the cracks of lava. So using that metaphor and that image, that is going to be the basis of our therapeutic art activity today. And this activity is going to help you reflect on your relationship to resilience, reflect back on your life, boost your resilience, and most importantly, give you hope for the future so that you can continue moving forward. You're going to need 1.5 pieces of paper, scissors, pencil crayons, felt markers, a glue stick, and any kind of watercolor paints. Before you begin, set up your space and light a candle and take this time for yourself. Place your hands on the paper, tune into your breath, tune into your body, bless your paper, set your intention and say out loud or in your heart, I deserve the life I want. I have the power to pick myself back up again. I am not made to give up. On the half piece of paper, write down all the words that come to mind when you've experienced a lack of resilience. Maybe it was a job loss, a divorce, or an illness. Cover it up and wash it away with the color of stones. Let the colors transform those feelings for you. Now cut it up into pieces of concrete stone. Take your other piece of paper, color the bottom half with yellow. This represents the emergence of light. Stick your pieces of stone and start to slowly build the ground. This is a collection of all of your past experiences. Draw a plant or a flower or yourself growing through the cracks. Use colors, lines, and shapes to represent the feeling of resilience. Let yourself shine and feel yourself growing from the cracks. When you're finished, take some time to know your piece. Hold it, feel its energy, and see what it's trying to tell you. Bring out your journal and ask yourself these questions. What have I overcome in my life? What did I learn about myself? And how do I feel now? This is a drawing that I end up creating, and the whole process of cutting up all of my negative feelings about the times that I thought I couldn't get back up again and turning into this was such a nice process because I felt like I really let go of a lot. I let go of a lot of the resentment that I've had about the past, and I've turned it into a beautiful piece of art. Doing this piece just gave me time to reflect back on my life, on the times that I have been resilient, and to know that I've actually been through a lot and I've overcome a lot, and I should be really proud of myself, but I never take the time to even think about that or to even pat myself on the back to what I've overcome. And so I really hope that you take the time to try this exercise because it's important for you to reflect, to take the time to reflect on yourself, on your accomplishments, on what you've overcome, on the doors that have opened for you, and also to focus on what will be coming for you as well. Just know that you are not alone in this. Just know that we've all been through a lot, especially in the past year, and that if you ever need help, you can always ask for help from your friends, from your community, or professional help. You can look on the brighter side and give yourself hope and know that you can overcome anything because you can. I believe that you can, and I really believe that taking the time to make art and trying this exercise will help you do that. So if you do try this exercise and you want to share your process with me, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to see it and to talk about the process. So you can always email me or tag me on Instagram. And if you want to dive a little bit deeper into the therapeutic art process, I offer one-on-one online sessions where we can help you reconnect to your creativity, dive into self-discovery in a creative way. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would be so helpful, and subscribe to my channel. I have so many more ideas.
Yeah, you can. Yes. Am I sharing you with?
Yes, sir. We can be able to see your screen. Can you make it as a full screen, sir?
Full screen?
Yes, sir. Sir,
You have to go to the top, sir. Top,
yes, sir. In top, you
Box,
can,
yes.
yes.
top right side, the double
Can-
box. You'll have to click the double box.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. So we have already seen those areas. Now, what is exactly EAT? The term actually, we call it as EAT. What is EAT? Expressive arts therapy. It's a very new phenomena. It is almost like 1970s, it has slowly it has its own its origin. You are able to hear me, please? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then, and the first person who talks about or who has come out with the expressive art therapy is Kathy Malchiodi. Kathy Malchiodi, a person who is very much close associated with Freud and all his colleagues and everything. The second one is Roger Natale. Roger Natale, the second person, and the third one is Edith Kramer and Halprin, who talks about dance movement therapy. There are so many people also now, they have come up with a lot of research and other areas, but they are the people who started in the beginning as such. And what are the basic characteristics of expressive art therapy? Only then you will be able to. They are self-expressive. So because just you would have seen art therapy now, as just person was drawing, then automatically the person is able to feel the element that is already within a person. Okay, I am down with all these elements and their emotions and everything. I cut it to pieces, I paste it, and then immediately the mind actually comes in to know what is exactly happening into the person. I will be coming back later what is happening to a person. The second one is active participation. In a counseling, there is also active participation, but rather in expressive art therapy, there are a lot of, there is no deviations because a person totally involved, both body and mind, both are involved in it. And the third one is non-judgmental and unconditional positive regard is seen. A person, whatever that the person is drawn, only the client is the one who interprets in the beginning. Only later the art therapist or the expressive art therapy comes out to it. Non-invasive, third one is non-invasive. You cannot invade. That means you need not invade. Nobody will invade in yourself. You are very free and you are able to get into yourself and think. Then a meaningful connection. So we have just seen the video, a meaningful connection. Yes, I'm seeing my own setbacks for my own and factors that are not able to resilient, to become a resilient. But these are my setbacks. But I'm able to overcome if I'm really well aware of it, and then you're able to bring out. Then the creative participation. So the mind becomes a creative, very much creative. One of the elements of art therapy is a processing that is nothing but creative process. We are artists. You may be you could be a very good drawing master, or you could be an artist. When you are not able to really process creatively, that doesn't really work in yourself, because most of the time, for example, a dancer or a very good actor, they are not able to process their emotion. They do it, they are very much skilled in their own elements. That's exactly the difference between artist and art therapist or expressive art therapist as well. Automatic healing is the only phenomena, or only phenomena I could say. Expressive art therapy is the only phenomena. As you start, the healing process is also starting in a person, because the whole body and the mind is totally involving in it, and all the more the body is connected to the unconscious mind and the mind is connected to the unconscious mind. What is exactly happening is you are moving into the unconscious mind, and the expressive art therapy makes you to be conscious what is in it, and then you are able to put yourself in the mind and in your paper or in your dance or in your music as such. That's exactly what we mean there. See here the small picture here. Art therapy, humor. Yes, simply a person is very much filled with his own confusions, emotions, and everything. Then the person is slowly putting down the head. You see that. Then the person is putting everything in the paper, and the whole head is element is removed. That's all. So that's what art therapy actually, art therapy helps to get what is in your brain out on the paper. That's what. Okay, art therapy without borders. Okay, so a person can simply put up, even in that, my dear friends, even a simple matter. For example, if you are confused with a lot of words, lot of things, please write down and everything. And once you write down in white paper, things are clear and you are not able to really get confused with that. That's what we simply say. Art therapy is a very beautiful medium, a very simple medium for you to come out what is happening to you, and you are able to process in it. That's exactly. So American Art Therapists Association beautifully defines art therapy is a mental health profession in which clients facilitated by the art therapist use art media, the creative process, and the resulting artwork to explore their feelings, reconcile emotional conflicts, foster self-awareness, manage behavior and addictions, develop social skills, improve reality orientation, reduce anxiety, and increase all self-esteem. So beautiful medium, my dear friends. That's exactly the definition itself. Once you make it, once you start doing that, you will be able to understand things. What expressive art therapy does here is it is bringing two worlds actually. One word inside, and the word inside is brought outside very easily. A medium is brought, that's all. Art is the meeting ground of the world inside and the world outside. Elena Ullman, another greatest expressive art therapist, a person who talks about this beautiful thing. And we move on to the next realm or next mode. We call it as music therapy. We call it as music therapy, a beautiful thing, because I'm a time factor, I'm slowly moving faster and I will be giving very simple thing. So I'm requesting is to play the music therapy, especially the third one, music in nursing home, how music is helping a person, depressed person to help. That's what third one. Please play the video.
Yes, sir. Can you stop screen sharing, sir?
Yes. Yeah, it's okay. Yes.
Sir, in Zoom, you can stop share the screen, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, thank you, sir.
It's a beautiful area where a person is getting overcome, able to overcome the depression. Yes.
I have one resident that barely opened her eyes. She didn't respond. As much as I tried, I knew her for 2 years. No matter what I tried, massage wouldn't work, nothing worked. But when we got introduced to the iPods and the family told me the things that she liked, it was amazing once we put the iPod on her. She started shaking her feet. She started moving her head. Her son was just amazed. Okay, can we stop? Because now I'm getting all I'm seeing her all over again.
Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa.
Huh?
How you doing?
I'm all right. Fine. Wait.
Who am I?
I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know.
Okay, it's Jerry. How long has he been in the nursing home? Approximately 10 years. He was having seizures, and my mother couldn't handle him at home. Of course, it affected me greatly because he was always, fun-loving, singing, every occasion he would come out with a song, no matter where he was. I remember as a child, he used to walk us down the street, me and my brother, and he would stop and do Singing in the Rain. He would have us jumping and swinging around poles. He was, he was good. He was always into music, always loved singing, dancing.
His name is Henry Dreyer.
Uh-huh.
And I'm looking more or less for religious music for him
Okay.
because he enjoys music and he always quoting the Bible. So I'd rather have that for him.
We first see Henry inert, maybe depressed, unresponsive, and almost unalive.
Henry,
Yeah.
Henry,
Yes, sir.
I found your music. You want your music now?
What's up to you? I
Okay,
mean,
let's try your music, okay? And then you tell me if it's too loud or not.
Then he is given an iPod containing, we know, his favorite music. And immediately he lights up. His face assumes expression. His eyes open wide. He starts to sing and to rock and to move his arms, and he's being animated by the music.
And he used to always sit on the unit with his head like this. He didn't really talk to much people. And then when I introduced the music to him, this is his reaction ever since.
The philosopher Kant once called music the quickening art, and Henry is being quickened. He's being brought to life.
yeah.
I'm going to take the music for 1 second, okay? Just to
Huh?
ask you a few questions. Okay? I'm going to give it back to you.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The effect of this doesn't stop, because when the headphones are taken off, Henry, normally mute and virtually unable to answer the simplest yes or no questions, is quite voluble.
Henry,
Yeah.
do you like the iPod? Do you like the music you're hearing?
Yes.
Tell me about your music.
Well, I don't have one, I mean.
Do you like music?
Yeah, I'm crazy about music. And you play beautiful music, beautiful sound,
Did you
beautiful.
did you play music when you were did you like music when you were young?
Yes, yes, I went to big dances and things.
What was your favorite music when you were young?
Well, I guess, well, Cab Calloway was my number one band guy. I like it. They did the hold it, the holly, the hill, the hold it, the mill it, the holly, the ah.
Yeah, what's your favorite Cab Calloway song?
Oh, I'll be home there for Christmas. Oh, you can count and plan on me with plenty of snow, mistletoe, present wrapped around your tree. Ow!
So in some sense, Henry is restored to himself. He has remembered who he is, and he's reacquired his identity for a while through the power of music.
What does music do to you?
Give me the feeling of love, romance. Figure right now the world need to come into music, singing. You got beautiful music here, beautiful, oh lovely, and I feel the band of love, dream. Lord came to me, made me holy. I'm a holy man, so He gave me this sound. I'll just say, I meet you. Let me see. Rosalie, won't you love me? Rosalie, won't you be sweet and kind?
With this beautiful new technology, you can have all the music which is significant for you in something as big as a matchbox or whatever. And I think this may be very, very important in helping to animate, organize, and bring a sense of identity back to
Yes,
people who
we
are
can move to the next.
out of it. Otherwise, music will bring them back into it, into their own.
Yeah. Yes. Screen share.
Sir, can you send the PPT to me, sir?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're able to open?
Sir. Yes, sir. The screen is opening. Yes. Can I able to see the screen?
Can I
Father, audio
continue?
is not clear, Father, not heard.
Audio. Now you are able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir. We
Father.
are able to hear you, sir. We are able to hear you. Yes.
Oh, where is that?
Sir, can you send your PPT to me, sir?
Now,
Sir, I'll just share the screen. Yes, sir.
not how to send immediately now.
Okay.
I will try now. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sorry. It's coming. You are able to see? No.
No, Father. No, Father.
Okay. Share. Yes. It's not coming. Sorry. It's not coming, my dear. Sorry. It's not. Okay, can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah. The next mode is called DMT. We call it as dance movement therapy as such. Okay, we call it as dance movement therapy. Dance movement therapy is nothing but dance, music, and everything is connected in it. Okay, that's exactly we call it as dance movement therapy. And the dance movement therapy, we also have a small video where we could see that. Then we'll be able to know what is exactly dance movement therapy. Then we will be able to see that. Okay, dance movement therapy as such. And I like to ask a person open the video on Indian dance so that we'll move fast the time factor.
Does that
Indian
have the
dance.
power
Could
to
you please
heal?
move?
Indian dancers Mohini Chakraborty believes so. 12 years ago, she created the dance group therapy to help victims of violence and trafficking. Her group has helped hundreds of women to dance their way to a better life.
Here at the Max Muller Bhavan Auditorium in India's eastern metropolis, Kolkata, Nasima meets dance therapist Sohini Chakrabarti for a workshop based on Indian contemporary dance. But this is no ordinary class. For Nasima and her fellow dancers, it is an opportunity to heal wounds from a violent past. The participants belong to a unique dance group called Kolkata Sanved that uses dance movement therapy for the rehabilitation of victims of trafficking, abuse and exploitation. And this is just one of the many classes that Sanved organizes across India. Dance movement therapy was virtually unheard of in India in the late 90s. It was back then that classical dancer and sociology student Sohini Chakrabarti began conducting classes at a shelter for trafficked women and children. Each participant had a story of violence and trauma buried within them.
My
Disenfranchised
volume
from
is
their
low, Father,
bodies
not
and
heard properly.
emotions, and shunned by society, they had lost their self-worth and confidence, but the will to dance.
It's spontaneous, that's why it's dance and movement. Dance itself is very powerful tool for like open up your emotion and expression.
Immersed in the joy of dancing, Sohini students began to open up and use the workshops as a safe space to express themselves. No longer cloistered by the counselor-client divide of conventional psychotherapy, they began to articulate their feelings in a variety of non-verbal ways.
স্টেজের বিভিন্ন জায়গায়
The success of the initial classes led Sohini to launch the Sunved project in 2004. Its aim, to use dance movement therapy as a means of counseling and consoling.
both will be working.
It also sought to identify rehabilitated individuals from its workshops who could be trained to become dance therapists themselves.
আলাদা ব্যাপার।
Sunved's dance philosophy emphasizes free-flowing movement, which encourages dancers to tune into their bodies. The idea is that this helps bolster self-confidence so that the participants shed their notions of being victims. The group also uses techniques from traditional Indian dance forms, while the geometric shapes of the Bharatnatyam dance form improves mind-body coordination. The soft and graceful moves of Manipuri dance calm the mind. In the 4 years since Sunved began, it has expanded from single-center workshops to national and international programs
Okay,
for
you can
victims of
stop.
trafficking and violence, homeless children, and mental health and aid.
Yes. So, dear friends, as we see this particular dance movement, we have also other movements like sometimes psychodrama, where I'm not going to touch those areas. And we have also one areas like narrative therapy or storytelling therapy. Most of the time when you open the newspaper, you see lot of stories. Am I audible to you, my dear friends?
Yes, Father.
Yes. Okay. And narrative therapy, or we call it a storytelling. When you stop telling your stories, you stop living. So when you open the newspaper, you find a lot of stories about a person. They are events, but they are stories. And that itself is clearly telling you that we need to really open up ourselves. There are so many types of stories, and where we have. So for example, in those days, all these expressive arts, whether it could be art or music, drama, or everything was with the person. As the human being started to live, the person was using this medium as to express themselves, to heal themselves. That's what exactly happened. But today, those type of medium has taken another form of area, in the sense we have given artists to express our emotions, our feelings, our thing. That's why when actor name is proposed, or just if you tell, our emotions are totally different. So that's how sometimes it happens, and a person is able to come into that. So now I move into a very important area, how these expressive arts therapy helps a person to heal. That's very, very important area, my dear friends. We have brain. We call it as software and hardware. Brain could be called hardware. Brain could be called hardware, and software is called mind. There are two elements in that. And when you look at this hardware, it has its own physical matter, gray matter and everything. There are so many things. Software is a very clear area where you are able to work on it. In the same way, my dear friends, we can divide the brain left and right hemisphere. So left and right hemisphere. So left and right hemisphere, when I say, and the brain, whenever you activate your right part of the brain, like right part of your own body, leg, hand, movement, everything, this is commanded by actually left brain. So the left brain is very much connected, and these are the basic characteristics of left brain. The first character is it is logical and linear, very symbolic, abstract, verbal, temporal, rational, digital, and analytic brain. So this is the left brain. And when you activate the left movements of the body, like left hand and left eye or left
For the
leg and
screen is not
everything,
seen.
whatever that you try to use, they are more connected with intuitive knowledge, holistic and concrete approach, analogical and non-verbal, non-temporal and non-variation and very spatial and synthetic. That's what we put it as: creativity, spatial, ability to move into all these type of expressive art therapy, and it is also we call it as very musical. So this is the right and left hemisphere, and where the expressive arts therapy becomes the medium to combine both. And there is a beautiful study done by musical therapist. There was a person who was affected with epilepsy, and 4,000 persons who were afflicted with epilepsy, they were actually made to know what has happened there. And there they identified the left and right hemisphere, how they are working differently. And here, that expressive art therapy alone has the capacity to modify or rewire the brain from infancy even to the other adulthood, even to the old. That's what we had seen even in the expressive art therapy, like music therapy. Mr. Henry, who was almost 10 years in the nursing home, he was very much depressed. He was not able to move even his hand. He was able to only clasp his hand and keep himself tightly, and he was not really overcoming anything of it. And but when he heard the music, especially which was he was using in the earlier stage, and he was able to really overcome everything, and he was able to feel one with it, and the whole brain and the mind is slowly activating, and he is coming back alive, and he is able to really understand what is happening. And that's why a new mode of life is created through music therapy as such. So what is happening is the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere is bridged together through expressive arts therapy, whether it could be art or music, or it could be anything of any mode of art therapies. That's why expressive art therapies becomes very, very important to heal the person. So left hemisphere and right hemisphere is activated, and they are actually be made blended together. They become very homeostasis in its own nature, and thus a person is able to really think. And that's why they able to even modify or rewire. They want to really remove certain things, and they want to cut away certain elements and put a new thing element as such. And another area what we have to understand is remapping takes place during expressive arts therapy. remapping takes place during expressive arts therapy as such. Okay, remapping takes place, and expressive arts therapy affect the release of transmitters such as dopamine and serotonin and cortical and that's because of that Boyoeth, by his research, he tells beautifully that remapping is taking place in the brain because of this particular expressive art therapy. That's why a person is able to heal oneself. A person is able to really come out of themselves, and the person is able to come out, and thus a person is able to heal oneself. Remapping is taking place because of that. And what are the other areas we need to understand? The other areas is called like there is a dynamic neurons through it. Dynamism of the neurons fire together and wire together. Whatever that is needed, they remove. That's what we call it as firing together. And wiring together is what is needed, and they can take, we call it as wiring together. It takes place within 10,000 milliseconds. It simply takes within 10,000 milliseconds. When you hear music, you are able to dance. When you hear music, you are able to move your and the whole thing. That's why the Hebbian, who has made a beautiful research on this, and he comes out with this. That means fire together, wire together. Because of expressive arts therapy in the mind, it whatever that it takes place. Thus, it makes a new connection and strengthen the existing one. What happened, especially for this Henry, who was we have seen in the video, what happened is, and the old connections are reconnected because of the music, and he liked it. That is the one. And the same person who is able to have nothing to whatever that really makes the person to fail and doesn't have a resilience, the person also is able to come out, and new connection is given as such. And the next element is called oxytocin. Oxytocin is which is activated and regulated through eat. Oxytocin is very important, especially for childbirth and aspect of the human behavior as such, and reproductive system. And when the expressive art therapy is created, is activated and regulated. It is active when it is less. Through expressive art therapy activities, it is regulated, and it when a person is intoxicated, actually it is controlled through oxytocin, and the person is able to bring. In the same way, a human behavior is regulated through expressive arts therapy, because expressive arts therapy connects with the oxytocin, which is very much connected with the brain and as well as the mind as such. That really makes a person to come into closer connection because of this expressive art therapy as such. Then another important element is called serotonin. Serotonin is the element which makes us to be happy. It is activating and regulating the serotonin in the brain. It is the neurotransmitter. So all the neurotransmitter is connected, and they are also very much really connected to the person and contributes and to the feelings of well-being and happiness. So when you hear a song, when you really get into music, when you really draw something, when you really act out whatever that is happening through psychodrama, or when you really narrate your own story outside, putting in things or something like that, then the neurotransmitter is working through this expressive art therapy and contributes to the feeling of well-being of the person as such. And another element, my dear friends, is a dopamine, very important area. They are all balanced, they are all created in a person, and dopamine is actually regulated through expressive art therapy as such. The last one and the second one, I could say, expressive art therapy is non-invasive and natural process. Non-invasive and there where we need a medication, maybe with all types of allopathy or anything we need. But when you have expressive art therapy for the same person who is depressed, a person who is addicted, or a person who has a personality disorder, can really help, because when you do automatically for 6 months a particular mode of art therapy, even the personality disorder can be rectified. That's exactly the wonder of expressive art therapy. Non-invasive and natural process because it has a potentiality to influence physical process of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. Okay, oxytocin. All these three elements, which is very much connected to the brain, and they are the people who are firing together and wiring together, and they become the pattern of behavior. They become the source of behavior to command the brain, especially. That's what we call. And they propose actually proportionately from the brain. They create this particular energy proportionately in the brain and activate the mind. They are very natural, non-invasive, and no side effects. When you do the expressive art therapy, there is no side effect. Thus, they build the resilience of the human person and able to come out, and beautifully a person is able to really come out with that. And the last one, how to plan a small action. So my dear friends, if you want, you can note it down. And if, for example, if you want to conduct a small expressive arts therapy session on art, when the client is coming to you, just first thing is warm up. Warm up in the sense, welcome the client, whatever that he likes, tries to do small activity with the person, maybe hello, how are you? Or any exercise that is really helping a person to warm up. That is the first one. Second one, determine the natural nature of the client. Children, adult, or de-addicted, or a person who is addicted, or depressed person, or schizophrenic, who is they? So determine the nature of the client. Third one is determine the choice of the mode of expressive art therapy. Determine. And who is to determine this expressive art therapy, the mode? It'll better if the client is not able to really determine or decide, if the therapist can suggest differently, suggest maybe. But if the client is able to choose any mode of art therapy, like for example, the person likes art, or if the person likes music, then ask the person to. Then later, the person themselves move to the another mode. That's what we call it as intermodality in expressive arts therapy as such. Intermodality. Then the fourth one is called actualizing the plan. Whatever that the person, we are not giving a plan for the person, but slowly we ask the person to draw and the person is actualizing it. And the fifth one is encourage the client to talk what is happening to the person as such. Encouraging after drawing, or after doing a music, or after doing any drama, or after doing any involving with the dance movement therapy, encourage the client to talk it over. And then the fifth one, we call it as appropriate questions. Create an appropriate questions, and you can, what exactly feels and makes you to feel like that. And seventh one, which is very important, my dear friend, we call it as processing. Everything is processing. That's what processing is. Nothing but a person is able to get into this. He gets into conscious mind through this mode. All the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind is made conscious, and you are able to come out of and evolve the next plan of action. The last one, we call it as next plan, is called evolving and next plan for the action as such. Okay, now we move on to the sixth video, where a person is able to bring out the child abuse, but rather a person is able to overcome through psychodrama. A small video, then we go for some questions, and you can also ask me later. So, participant, can you please play the video?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I just feel so nice up against your chest. It just feels so good. You know? And you look like you're proud of me. So what happened? What happened? You loved me then? It looks like you loved me.
Please increase the
Father's
volume.
asked a direct question, what happened? He will need to reverse roles in order to answer it.
So what happened?
Now he takes on the role of his mother, playing her as he saw her as a child, along with the sense he's made out of it over the years.
Needy. You're just too needy. I don't understand that. I can't understand the emotions. Leave me alone. I don't know where to go with it. I don't know what to do with it. I love you. I love you, okay? I'll say it.
I believe that you love me.
I love you. I don't know what to do.
You're really angry when you say I'm needy.
Oh, not you too, Bobby. Come on.
You mean
Your
me
brothers
too?
and sisters are always saying the same thing.
What's wrong with having needs? I'm a little kid.
I don't know what to do with them, so I don't want to deal with them. Just leave me alone. I've got too much stuff to worry about. Your father died. I'm married again. I have too much stuff.
But who's going to take care of me? What about me?
I'll take care of you.
You don't like
You
it
have too
when
many needs. A boy's not supposed to have all those needs.
Again.
A boy's not supposed to have all those needs. Damn it.
But I do.
No! Only girls!
I do.
Only girls!
I do.
No, no, no!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
Boys don't have those needs. You're a freak.
I'm inviting Bob to explore and experience the powerful emotions that he may have shut down as a child, the ones he may be afraid to even feel in the presence of his stepfather, because his stepfather felt dangerous to him. We're unpacking them here, taking them out of cold storage, so to speak, creating a safe space for Bob to feel them, so that he can elevate them to a conscious level and think about them without being flooded and needing to shut down again.
You're pathetic. Yeah. And I want to say one thing. I want to say one thing here. Yeah, okay?
Now make sure you get it straight.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me.
Get it
Listen
straight.
to me. When my sister, not my half-sister, as you would like to say, she's my sister, your daughter, my sister, my mother's daughter, okay, looks like me. The spitting image of me, huh? Not like you.
And I'll say it again. She's your half-sister.
You ask her.
Not
She
your
is
sister.
my sister. You pathetic man. Okay? She's my sister. And she looks just like me. Just like me.
Like a little girl.
Yeah, like a little girl.
Not a man.
No, not a man, no. She looks like I look like a man. You're confused. I look like a man. She looks like a girl.
Say it
But
again.
look, I am a man. I don't look, I am a man. You're confused. I'm a man, she's a girl.
Again.
I'm a man, she's a girl. And we look like each other. We have the same lips, the same nose. We look like each other. High cheekbones, okay? We look like each other. And you're shut up already.
It's your
Hello?
Yeah? Shut up! Stop!
Yeah, you can
Just
stop then.
You're so
Yes, enough. Okay, my dear friends, I like to tell you some of the things, because why I have made use of video, because expressive art therapy is supposed to be expressed. And one of the basic elements is the resilience could be easily brought it out or regained only through expressive art therapy, whatever the possible mode that you have. And expressive art therapy, as I said, all types of mode could be called. And the way that you want to really work on it, we need to really work on it with the maybe with a group or with the elements of the person. Then it will be easy for us. And you will be seeing a wonder when you start working. In my own experience, I like to give you through as expressive. There was a school, and where the matriculation school boys, around 10 boys, at 10th standard boys, they were having a lot of a problem in the sense of they were not really having concentrating the lessons, and they have a lot of in another area where they were also having maybe using another pornography and everything. They started to pass to different place, and the school headmaster asked me whether you can do that, something help them in expressive art. Then I went and we picked up in the class, or whoever is ready to come. Then they sent 10 boys, 10 boys. The 10 boys, morning we called them, and I was just giving up warm-up sessions. Then later I played this is very famous cine song called Lungi Dance, Lungi Dance, Lungi Dance, as such. Lungi Dance. And after playing 2 days, we played 10 to 15 minutes. Then we processed, and I called the boys and I was talking. They were also telling about things. After 3 days, the boys who were very naughty, they were bullying each other in the class. They stopped. They stopped everything. They became very normal. Just last Sunday, I was conducting a session for the hostel boys and girls closer to Arupukotai, and just 30 minutes, a mindfulness exercise through art therapy. That means I asked them to slowly lie down, and I asked them to visualize whatever that thing later. Then after visualizing their parents, whoever they started to draw. After drawing, some of them express, my father is a drunkard, my mother is not really loving me, and all those things they were expressing. And after that, once again, and when they started to really feel for it, then we have to reconcile. Then we went for once again a mindful exercise through this music therapy. So we played a very common cine song very recently, what is there, and they all danced 10 to 15 minutes. Then after that, they processed their own anger, their own ill feeling towards their parents. Then slowly they became very calm down. Then I asked them to process what made them to feel, what made them to feel this dance or this particular element. So we expressed all our angers and everything. That's how slowly they came out of that particular element. One of the elements, my dear friends, if you want, in my own life as an house therapist, there was also another experience in my counseling. And in the hostel, the boys were abused in one of the areas. And the warden himself abused three boys. So the hostel in charge, the director brought the person. Three persons, all seventh, eighth, ninth. These were the students. They were doing it, but they did not open up any word. Any word. They were very calm and quiet. They were very much freezed. What to do with them? And slowly I talked with them what they really liked. Once again, they liked a song, any song or something that. Then I asked them to remain in the room and played a small video and song together, and they danced, they moved their leg. Then slowly they came out. And I asked them, whatever that you feel against that warden, because he has abused you, think about and dance and movement, make a movement. Then the persons were slowly there. After 10 minutes, then I asked them to come out, and they started to share. And they started to share things, and they were able to come out of themselves. So this is how I think there are so many elements where we could really use art therapy to help oneself to overcome this type of any type of abuses, any type of thing. Then a person can really become enhanced with their own well-being. So thank you, my dear friends. If you have any questions, you can carry on now.
Participants, you are requested to ask questions. If you have any doubts regarding the webinar session, you can ask them. You can unmute yourself. Rajlakshmi.
Thank you so much, Fr.Sathiyan.
Yes.
This expressive art therapy, can you use it for adult?
Anybody. We
Okay.
could use not only for children, anybody. That's why even I place some children, adults, elderly person, for everybody we could use it. Even for addicted person, even for personality disorder, even for a schizophrenic who is under treatment, we could use it.
Thank you, Father. And of course, children, no, from 0 to 6, you told us, no, that
Yeah.
was, maybe a child is, no, like autistic children.
Yes.
And even adult, no, the cerebral palsy, and like they have disorders. And if they are not able to express themselves, in what way can we help them, no? Like,
yeah, if the children are not expressive, especially autistic
they are not
children,
able to express. They are not able
yes,
to express really.
yeah, they are actually what we mean here. We have to assess what the child, if the child is having ADHD or if the child is a autistic child, use the mode which the child slowly gets in. It may be even a play therapy, which I have not brought here. Play therapy also should be, it could be used. Or a child which is very much interested in a small music and everything. You slowly play and slowly then get into the mind of the child and slowly you can. And expressive art therapies will enhance their behavior, enhance their own modification. We can, behavior modification could be really brought it out. Yes.
Thank you so much, Father. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, sir. This is Muhil.
Yes.
This is Muhil. You told us, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. You told us to actualize a plan. So I'm just thinking, how do we do that? And how do we make sure that, how do we come to know that we are reaching their unconscious and it is being healed?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear the last part of it.
Yes, sir. How do we make sure that we have reached the unconscious, or they are getting
Yes.
they are getting the help,
Yeah.
and they are
It's
getting
actually
healed?
arts are royal way to subconscious mind or unconscious mind.
Okay.
How do we know? That's your basic question.
Yes, sir.
When you try to draw something, when you draw, automatically you are the first person to interpret what you have drawn.
Yes.
Okay, as you draw. For example, simple thing, my dear, and in a way, for example, there was a art therapy session for the addicted persons. So first, when I started that therapy for the addicted person, the first week, the person draw the picture of a pig. And the last session, he drew the picture of a Vinayagar. He was standing closer to it. Do you understand? Because he did not express it, but rather first, what do you mean by pig is understood very clearly. We need not express it. So that's how it is a royal way, I could say expressive art therapy or royal way to move to the unconscious mind. Whatever the elements that are really in the mind of the unconscious, and slowly it is made conscious. Yes.
So our work is just to facilitate and just stay near.
Yes, therapist is only to facilitate, but expressive arts therapy should know what is exactly the symbolical meaning. For example, I am not able to take because the time factor. If you ask the person, there are two methods: directive methods, non-directive methods. Directive method is you are asking a person to draw something. Non-directive method is anything they can draw. Most of the time, when I ask all the participants to draw, they will draw only on 3 elements. One, tree, person, and another one?
House, sir.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes,
House,
sir.
tree,
Observe
person.
these things.
All of them invariably will draw this because we are very much connected to this area.
Yes, sir.
And when a person draw a house without a person, something means there, something is there. When a person draw a picture without fruit, without a nest, or without some, that it means something there. When a person draws a hand, a person without hand or without eyes, it means there. So this is exactly what we have to really help the persons, right? Yes.
Thank you. So that was a real wonderful session. And,
Thank you.
thanks a lot, sir.
Yes.
Francis, you have a question. You can go.
Yeah,
ahead.
Father, may I request you to know, elaborate how to diagnose talents, when they are small. They may be, I heard that there are children, they scribble on the wall, and then we can figure out that they have this inner talent.
Yeah.
And also, how to diagnose whether the child is autism or OCD, or is there any other abnormalities? How to figure out at an early stage, and what stage we can find out,
Most
and
of
so
the
that we can
time,
channel.
when they are not able to respond to the normal feelings and emotions of the person, and when they're not able to hear properly, especially when they are not able to hear, when they are not able to articulate normally as any other child, slowly we have to check within 2-3 after 1 or 2 years. It is very much, especially physical check is in. We need to really check them what is happening for them. And according to identify the talents of the child, there are so many possibilities. Arts therapy will help you. Maybe a child may draw well or child may sing well, but it moves always. It always fluctuates. We cannot decide exactly through arts therapy what type of a talent the child has. So that we cannot, because there are so many questionnaires, there are so many diametric way where we have to psychometric analysis, we have to do it. Okay, that's all. Yes. Thank you.
Father, actually, I am calling from Kuwait. Actually, I am in Kuwait for the past 20 years. I think you must be
Yes.
knowing
Last time
me.
we have met, I suppose, for the class.
Yes, Father.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, what's happening here, the Middle East, especially I'm talking about all the countries here in the Middle East.
Yeah.
We don't have a supportive system for this kind of children, autism or special need children. If they are local nationals, for example, Kuwaitis or Emiratis, they have the schools and they have a counselor, psychiatrist, all. But if they're expatriates, we don't have any support system. Very unfortunate. Yeah. And I think we have to do a lobbying through government, embassy to establish this very, very important, for the health of the child. Is very pathetic. When I see the children with the special needs not being taken care, it's quite unfortunate.
Yes. And there are modes actually. If the parents really want, if you want, I can also help them. If you want, if the parents want, we can have an online session and help them, because some of the fathers also come over there for mission or something. And if you plan, you are Francis, is it? Yes.
Yes.
You can think it over. But I think in Sharjah, when I was conducting a session for the school, Sharjah, there was slowly people were able to come out and they were able. So even in Dubai, they have a special school. Most of the Arabian countries, they have a special school for special children. And there slowly they have art therapists, and all the expressive art therapists help them to come out of that. Yes.
Definitely. So what I'll do is, I think one of your student, Father Ravi, is here. I will coordinate through Ravi, and then we will get the
Ravi
help from
is
you.
just one of my junior, and you can connect with him and help. Then I can come back to you, help you, no problem.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, sir. Arul Teresa, do you want to share?
Yes, one of the best books. I think there are so many books, very costly books are there, but even in the net, you have so many good books up there. There are also some exercise books are there. The best book I could tell you, if at all, even if it's in a PDF form, it is available. Please note the author, Judith Aron Rubin, Child Art Therapy. And where almost it is a big volume where all types of expressive art therapies are there, both for children and adults. So express. If you want, I can also mail it to those who really wish they can. So we call it, the author name is Judith Arun Rubin. Okay. Other books are available, but if you get into Google, there are so many good number of books we can. Even in PDF form, there are some books are available as such. Yes.
Thank you. There is also a question in the chat box. The difference between the art therapy and expressive art therapy.
Yes. Art therapy is one of the mode in expressive arts therapy. Okay, art. When I say art, it is drawing or any other mode. When I say arts, everything, music, dance, everything comes in. Expressive arts therapy is more different modes are combined together, then we involve in. Most of the time, this arts therapy or expressive art therapy have a different mode. For example, you can start with art. The same art could be written as a story. The same art could be written as a free verse, that means poetry, and the same art could be made as a music. The same art could be also made as a dance. That's what happens. Yes.
Thank you so much. So, any
Yes.
other doubts?
I can send the PowerPoint to you. Oh, yes. How are you all?
Fine, Father.
Yes, yes.
Father, I had one question, Father.
Yeah.
Father, this Corona period, some girls are just in Ranipet, small villages. That girl is falling in love. Whether we can use this music therapy, Father? She's very adamant. See, I'm working in the school.
Expressive art therapy.
Yes, Father.
I'm not able to hear, please.
Father.
Yeah.
Father, are you hearing me, Father?
Yes, yes.
Father, one of the girls, to school student,
Yes.
the Corona period, father, too, yes, she fall in love with a boy.
Yes.
Now she coming to the school. She's very adamant. She in the love. She wants that boy. She not, don't want to come to the school also. She want to marry him. She's very adamant. I counseled her and I spoke to her several times. But even though she is very adamant, whether we can use this art therapy for her.
Yes, we could surely use this particular session in the sense what type of a mode that person wants. Maybe that she is very much love with the person. Go for some songs that she really loves it. And the songs can slowly help her to move into this, her own emotion. Slowly she start coming out and talk about those elements.
Because the boy is a rowdy fellow.
Yeah.
He's having so many girls like this.
Yeah.
So the parents is too much worried about their life.
Yeah, first thing is you move to her. Maybe even dance movement therapy also will help. But basically, she also should undergo cognitive therapy, rational emotive therapy, where she has. So once you get help from the point of expressive arts therapy, we should also help them through rational emotive therapy as such.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Father. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
So there is another question in the chat box.
Yeah.
Where is there any circumstance where expressive art therapy shouldn't be used?
Yeah, exactly. Very good question. And where the exact circumstance expressive art therapy can be used, when the doctor gives a medication for a person, okay, especially any type of a person who is under medication, and if this therapy with the permission of the doctor we can carry on, and at the same time I will tell you, art therapy or expressive art therapy doesn't have any side effect at all. Whatever the mode the person has, like it, slowly it will enhance the life. Enhance the life. Only the doctor, especially the psychiatric doctor, can decide whether the person can, because sometimes it can trigger the emotions At the same time, if the person, if he is with the art therapist, then they can help it, or else sometime if they try to do by themselves, it may be difficult for themselves. Yes. Correct. Child Art Therapy book by Judith Arun. Yes, the same book.
Good evening, Father.
Good evening.
It was a wonderful session.
Yeah.
I had a question, Father.
Yes.
Father, you had told that you could express your emotions.
Yes.
But sometimes when we express our emotion, it tends to have a slight argument, or it might become worsen also.
Yes.
So how do we handle such cases, Father?
So when a person, for example, when a person is non-invasive, for example, when you start, what type of a mode of art therapy will you use for this person? That's more important. For example, when a person draws a picture with anger, once, twice, thrice, or fourth time, the anger, the density of the anger will be slowly reduced.
All right.
Okay, in the same way, dance, when your person uses a dance movement therapy, if the person is very much revengeful, angry, first, when you make a big drum movement, a very strong drum movement, the whole anger element will be coming out and it will be slowly going out. And as the person moves, the anger is letting down 2-3 times. We call it as mandalas here.
Okay.
7 mandalas. 7 days with the person is doing a small dance therapy for 10 minutes. The 7th day, the person's anger will be very much lessened. And he will be reconciled very fast. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Father. Thank you so much.
Very good.
Other doubts?
Father, if the
Yes.
children wants to dance or any cultural program, you have to allow them to dance freely. That is very important. Father. We should not restrict them in the home or in the play school or wherever they are. If they want to express, let them ventilate. That is the best thing we can do. Help them to ventilate.
Sure. They should, but at the same time, it should be processed. If it is not processed, they will simply dance, and they become very tired. They need to be processed if you want to really help them. Okay. For example, after dance, how do you feel? That's the basic question you ask. I am very much happy. I am released of my own tensions. So like that, they should be able to come out with the real processing. Or else it will simply, for example, a dance on the stage, a very good Bharatanatyam person, they can do it, perform a dance. If it is not performed properly, then it will be, if it is not processed properly, it is, you are becoming only a skilled person in dance. That's all. You are not a therapist. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Any doubts? Yes. So thank you, sir. Thank you for the insightful and informative sessions. Throughout the session, it was really informative session for all of us. And also, you made us understand through appropriate videos. It's really make us to feel understood more about the concept and all. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this session. It's a wonderful session. So thank you, participants, for your active participations and all. Thank you all. And kindly fill the feedback form which is posted in the chat box. So that will be provide you with the e-certificates. So thank you so much. Yes, sir.
We will also, I will also send the PowerPoint to you.
Okay, sir.
They can share with the participants, those who want.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
So PowerPoint will also be shared with you. So with that, I request Jayashree to give vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your wonderful session.
Yes.
I conclude with a vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank the founder of M.S.Chellamuthu Trust and Research Foundation for supporting us. Next, I would like to thank Mrs. Rajakumari Ramasubramaniam, Executive Director of M.S.Chellamuthu Trust and Research Foundation. I extend my sincere gratitude to our beloved principal of M.S.Chellamuthu Institute of Mental Health and Rehabilitation, Professor G. Gurbadi sir, for guiding the webinar. And also, I would like to thank the resource person for making the webinar more lively and informative. And I would like to thank the faculty members and students for supporting and guiding the webinar. Last but not least, I would like to thank each and every participant for your interest and making the webinar more lively. Thank you all.
So please, yeah, please take down my phone number, cell number. Those who want, please 9486 080968. I repeat, 9486 080968. My email ID SATHIAN Sathiyan 7 @gmail.com. Madam, you can also send them if they want. Sathiyan7 @gmail.com. Okay, yes. Okay, good. So if there are, I think doctor is available. He is not in the, I suppose. Doctor is there. I'd like to thank him.
Shall we wind up the session, sir?
Yes, sure.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank
all.
you so much.
We'll
Yes.
meet in another occasion. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.